If you are an entrepreneur watching this video, then you know the most important thing in your business is sales. Then why is it that when we talk about sales, people are always turned off by it? Whether it's the customer or even you're also concerned about sales, or you might be thinking, hey, not this again. I don't want to get on another sales call. I don't want to hire more sales staff, or I'm constantly having to sell every single day just to keep up my revenue. And you're just stuck in what is known as the hustle, which is every single day you have to sell. And there's nothing wrong with the hustle, but you have to build something in the long term. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you probably just saw in the news that Tesla's market cap just surpassed Toyota. And why is that? Well, it's very simple. If I ask you who is the CEO of Tesla, it's Elon Musk, right? Okay, who is the CEO of Toyota? Do you know? I don't know who's the CEO of Toyota. I have a Toyota myself, and I've owned a Tesla, so I don't know who's the CEO of Toyota. And this is the power. This is the power of having a personal brand these days. Because ultimately, in this day and age where there is unlimited number of ads out there, unlimited number of companies out there, like new companies coming all the time, why should someone buy from you? And the answer is people still buy from people. And what happens is most companies have lost their way, where they just trying to set up these automated systems where that business is no longer personalized. And this is great because now you have a scalable system. However, they're not building something. They're still stuck in the hustle where they constantly have to keep advertising, keep selling, ads and selling, generate more traffic, more leads and sell. And they just have to keep doing this without building something in the long term, without building something evergreen. Do you think that companies like Tesla or Apple have to go out there and generate a lot of leads? They have to focus on their conversions and all this stuff? Or do people actually come to them? And this is the power of having a personal brand. Think about Apple. Why is Apple such a big company? Do they really make the best products? Do they really make the most spec'd out advanced features? Not really. If you look at their products, they're very simple. But people know the story of Apple. People know Steve Jobs and how he started Apple. But if I ask you, companies like Dell or HP, or if you look at the cell phone space, if I ask you Samsung, all these are massive companies, but who started Samsung? People don't know, right? So that's the power of having a personal brand, that Steve Jobs had such a personal brand that people still remember him even though he's passed away a few years ago, and his legacy still continues on as he is the founder of Apple. And this is the power of having a personal brand, is you're gonna pretty much stand out up and above everyone else. Even though you're entering a saturated market, doesn't matter. You're creating your own market because of your personal brand, people trust you. Now, back in the day, let's look at our grandparents' times, before social media, before even television was so big. The value of the personal brand back then was so powerful that your word was everything. Your reputation in the market was everything. And then eventually, because of technology, it just got saturated. And unfortunately, we live in a time where people, they don't trust, right? People don't trust because there's scammers out there, obviously, but then also you can go online and you can look up reviews on any company, and if you have bad reviews, then that's not good for your business. So it's great, the consumer has all the power right now, but as a business, the only way to really have power is to have a personal brand, and of course the corporate brand. So you could be Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla, or Bill Gates, or Tony Robbins. All these guys are not the most talented people or the best of the best necessarily. If you look at pure knowledge or degrees or qualifications, but they stand out of the crowd because they are great at building an amazing reputation that people recognize them. So let me ask you this: do you want to continue advertising and selling non-stop just to keep your revenue machine going? Or you can keep doing that, but while you do that, you invest some of that money that you generate from your sales and you reinvest back into building your brand. And then your brand eventually becomes so big that you can actually cut back on your advertising expenses. And in some cases, you can actually completely not advertise at all. And this brand that you build, it becomes an evergreen thing that's gonna keep feeding, keep bringing you more customers. And not only that, not only will you get more customers, but you also don't have to sell them. And this is what I call the art of selling without selling. I'll give you an example from my life. About a year ago, I bought a Tesla. And I never thought even 2-3 years ago that I would ever buy a Tesla. Like, I knew of Elon Musk and all that. Here's the thing, I bought like an $80,000 car without seeing a single ad from Tesla, without talking to a single salesperson. And I spent this money. I had to pre-order my car, I had to wait for it. I had to go and take the delivery myself. I bought the car online using my computer. And who would have thought that, just buying a car online, first of all, that's something that we've never heard of before, even like 2-3 years ago. And that too, buying like an $80,000 car. Now you may be thinking, who's gonna buy like an expensive item, right? People may be buying, like going off Amazon and buying something. But think about the shift and how many things we buy online and how many things we buy because we trust them. Because online you can see, if you're making someone buy a car even without seeing it or test driving it. Now I fortunately live in an area where there's lots of Teslas around. It's pretty much everywhere, and Tesla's factory is also not too far from my house. So for me it's different. But if I talk to people outside of California, some of them have barely seen the car on the road. It's not that common. There's no showrooms near them, so they can't really even test drive the car, but they still buy the car online because they trust Elon Musk. And the reason why Tesla is such a big company is not necessarily because they have the highest sales or they necessarily have, they're actually making some really innovative products, of course. But there's a big risk, right? But people trust Elon Musk. People are betting on the jockey, not necessarily the horse. And because people are betting on him, they trust him. They buy all his products, right? And people are backing him up for SpaceX and the Boring Company and everything else because of his personal brand, because of his celebrity. So this is known as the art of selling without selling. Now, I myself, I don't really like sales. I'm not a salesperson. I'm a marketer. So when it comes to selling, I would prefer, first of all, that I don't have to reach out to people for sales. People come to me. So I'm attracting people to me. Now, as a business, if you attract people to you, then you're gonna have all the power in that situation or in that conversation, because now people are coming to you instead of you having to call people or your sales staff having to cold call people. Second thing is, having a brand shortens your sales funnel, if you want to call it that. It makes it wider and shorter, meaning more people are gonna come to you. You're gonna generate more leads than ever. And if you were to even run some ads on top of your brand, it's gonna be like 10x more effective. So not only is your cost of advertising going to go down, but your cost for conversion and cost per acquisition of each customer is going to go way down because you have a brand and you provide people value. And how do you do this? 2 words: video marketing. Now, video is the second best way of communication outside of one-on-one communication. In fact, you're watching me on video right now. So with a video, you create a lot of trust compared to any other form of communication. They say that an image speaks 1,000 words. Well, a video speaks like 1,000,000 words per minute. And that's just the power of personal connection. And number 2, you are cloning yourself with a video, because this one video, even this very video you're watching right now, is going to be watched by thousands of people. So I'm cloning myself and I'm creating almost like one-on-one conversations, just like I'm talking to you with video. And videos can be used for branding, for marketing, for lead generation, for advertising, for sales, for webinars. There's all these things you can do with the power of video. And unlike a few years ago, you don't even need fancy equipment. You don't need any fancy cameras. or if you have a cell phone in your pocket, you're in the game. But it comes down to a couple of things. One thing is your vision, your communication, your personality, and how authentic you come off. Because these days, let's face it, even in the world of video, most people out there are not authentic. They're trying to portray an image to you. They're trying to sell you an image, not even like a good product or service. And that is what we are about to change. We are about to see how you can use your own personality, your own authentic self, and we're going to build like a wild fan base of customers that will come to you. They'll buy every single product you have, and not only that, they will spread your word, they'll spread your vision and tell everyone about it. And with video, there's many different formats out there, as I said, but even in terms of platforms, there's more platforms than ever before. Like in addition to the traditional media like television, the video consumption has gone through the roof. In fact, the biggest website in the world today is YouTube, and YouTube is the largest video platform. It's also the second largest search engine in the world because people go on there and look for stuff, and YouTube completely destroys all the other search engines out there combined, and it's owned by the largest search engine out there. So you just see the power of video and see how much people are consuming. So in addition to YouTube, there's also other platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. Literally every single social media platform is now a video-based social media platform. Like back in the day, people used to post a lot of content online. If you're familiar with online marketing, people still do this, but you can either have written content in the form of like magazines, newspapers, blogs, articles, stuff like that, or you can have image-based content, again with magazines, newspapers, Instagram. All these platforms are very heavily image-based platforms. Or you can have audio-based content, which is, again, it's been around for like 100 years now, with radio, and then later on with podcasts and audiobooks. But the fourth type of content that I'm talking about is audio-visual, which is video. And this is the most powerful, because I'm gonna share a marketing secret with you, is that most marketers today, when they talk about like writing blogs or publishing podcasts, they don't actually focus on those natively. They actually focus on video first. They make one video and then they repurpose that video and convert it into multiple different formats, and this is known as just repurposing, in case you're wondering. And they take one video and they make it into a blog post. They make it into some shorter video clips. They extract the audio and publish it as a podcast, and they might even come up with some good images and put the video transcript as the caption for a good image. So there's all these possibilities from just one video. And if you're a fan of Gary Vaynerchuk like I am, again, huge personal brand, when you think of social media, or at least when I think of social media, I think of Gary Vaynerchuk. And this is because he just built like the biggest personal brand out there, and he's built like this massive marketing agency, social media marketing agency, just through the power of his personal brand. Now, is he really the best marketer of all time? I don't know. I mean, I consider him to be one of the best, but he has clients that are the biggest companies out there. And he got popular because of platforms like YouTube and now Instagram and TikTok, and his videos are everywhere. So he recommends, like I said, I'm a huge fan of him. I'm wearing a t-shirt that has his quote, "Marketers ruin everything." But he has a very big brand, and he promotes that you need to be omnipresent. You need to produce like 100 pieces of content a day. Now, you might not be at that level, but I'm just telling you that it is possible using his exact strategy, where you just produce one piece of solid video content and then you distribute everywhere. And we as an agency, we do all this because we realize the power of not just creating one video, but giving your video more mileage. So in 2020, when the entire world is shut down and everyone is panicking about, I don't have a job, like what's going to happen with the economy, you gotta realize that the people are still out there. You just have to reach them. You just have to reach the right people with the right message, with the right product or service at the right time. And if you can figure out this 4-step formula, then you will be successful no matter what economy or what happens out there. As long as people have the internet, you're in the game.